Hello, how are you? We already know that coffee can indeed be a great ally for our overall health and well-being, but depending on how we prepare it, how we regularly consume it, and the specific time at which we choose to drink it, coffee can in fact become a villain for our health and our overall quality of life. Studies show that when we use it incorrectly, coffee can harm our heart and our metabolism. So it's important to use it in the right way, in the right amount, at the right time. I'm going to give you several very important tips here today. You're going to love this video. Stay until the end, you won't want to miss it. Before we start, I want to ask you, where are you from? What city do you live in? Do you have the habit of drinking coffee daily? At what time do you drink coffee? And how many cups do you have per day? How do you take your coffee? Do you add anything to your coffee? Do you drink your coffee black? Write it all for me down below in the comments. I would love to see your comment here. If you like this kind of video, where I talk more about the foods and drinks we consume every day so we can learn more about them, go ahead and leave your like and I'll make more videos. So, if you have any suggestions for foods or drinks from everyday life that you'd like to know more about, especially regarding precautions to take, just leave them here in the comments. And if you know someone who drinks a lot of coffee or drinks it in a way you think might be dangerous, share this video. Let's spread this positive message because that's what I want to do here with the channel. The first mistake we need to watch out for is the time of day we drink coffee. Drinking coffee as your first beverage of the day can be dangerous for us because in the morning we naturally have a cortisol spike. Cortisol is our fight or flight hormone, the hormone of danger. It's what wakes us up and puts our body into that alert, wakeful mode, right? To have more energy to carry out the day's tasks. Cortisol is that hormone that tells us, wake up, get up for life, because we're about to have the energy we need for the activities ahead. This hormone is necessary for us to enter that alert mode in the morning, but if you drink coffee at that moment, you're combining two powerful stimulants for your body, the caffeine from coffee and the cortisol. So this can end up causing some unwanted effects, such as irritability, anxiety, and then you might experience a sudden drop in energy a few hours later. So you might waste some of the coffee's potential because your body is already naturally more active. So what's the best strategy? How to consume it in the morning? I know a lot of people like to drink coffee in the morning, but instead of having coffee first thing, drink water. The first thing you should drink in the morning is water. Your body wakes up dehydrated. So the first thing is to drink 1 or 2 glasses of water, hydrate yourself well, wait a bit, at least half an hour, and then you can have your coffee. That way, you'll hydrate your body first, replenish its water stores, and then you can have your coffee along with the rest of your breakfast in a more complete way. Second thing, drinking coffee all the time at any hour. We know that caffeine has a half-life, right? It lasts in our body for about 4 to 7 hours, but there are people who are more sensitive, and for them it can remain active for up to 10 hours. There are people whose bodies process it this way, where this happens in their bodies. So, coffee consumed at 3 p.m. can affect these people all the way into the early hours of the morning. So it's not just about falling asleep, right? It doesn't just interfere with getting to sleep, but also with staying asleep and with the quality of sleep itself. Deep sleep, REM sleep, which is when we dream, when our brain and mind are cleansed, and when physical and mental recovery happens. So, after 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it's best to avoid consuming caffeine. If you like to have a little coffee in the late afternoon for that afternoon coffee ritual, you can choose decaffeinated coffee instead. And you can also opt for tea. I have a video here on the channel where I talk more about which drinks you can use as a substitute for coffee, which also give you energy but without the caffeine. I'll leave that video linked below to help you as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, take the opportunity and subscribe to the channel. I post new videos every day and you're definitely going to love them. Another mistake is ignoring the safe dose of coffee. Some people think that coffee is a natural drink. A drink that I've been having for many, many years, so I don't really need to worry about how much I have. But that's not true. We know it's a functional beverage, it's rich in polyphenols, antioxidants, it has chlorogenic acid, and many interesting bioactive compounds. But everything has a limit, right? A limit that our body can tolerate. The safe limit for caffeine is about 400 milligrams per day. Depending on the size of the cup, that means anywhere from 2 to 5 cups, and it also depends on the concentration of the coffee. So, if it's an espresso, a very strong coffee, or if it's a very large cup. So, ideally, you shouldn't go much beyond that. On average, 2 to 3 standard cups, like the ones we usually drink every day. Going much beyond that can lead to heart palpitations, irritability, and insomnia. It can also cause heartburn or even diarrhea, because coffee really stimulates the intestines. And if you already have anxiety, gastritis, reflux, or irritable bowel syndrome, you might need to adjust that amount. For some of these people, a single cup of coffee in the morning might already be enough. Tell me, for you, how much coffee is ideal for you to drink? What do you think? You think, great, it gave me that boost. It woke me up. My brain worked well. But more than that doesn't sit well with me. Let me know down below. Another common mistake has to do with the quality of the coffee, the type of roast you choose, and even some of the byproducts or additives that can sometimes be mixed into the coffee without you realizing it. This is super important because sometimes trying to save money ends up costing more. And there are coffees that may have had poorly stored beans and could even have fungi. There are beans that are ground together with husks, branches, and insects. So if you see at the store that one coffee costs X and another is less than half the price, that might be suspicious, right? Ideally, if we could, we would buy one of those coffee grinders, which are pretty affordable these days, buy the coffee beans and grind them at home. First, because the coffee will be super fresh. It will be a much more aromatic, flavorful coffee, and it will be easier for you to know exactly what you're consuming. The bean won't have that coffee husk, which often can cause heartburn and acid reflux for many people. And then you can grind the beans every day, which will give you a truly premium quality coffee, real pure coffee, and you'll get all the benefits associated with coffee. Patricia, that's impossible for me. I can't do that. I don't have a grinder like that. I can't afford to invest in one. At the very least, try to choose a good quality coffee from brands you really trust. Ones that have some kind of certification or proven standards when it comes to food safety. Paying attention to this detail is important for your health. Another mistake is related to how you prepare the coffee. The water temperature is crucial. A little before it reaches a full boil between 185 and 200 degrees Fahrenheit when it starts to form those little bubbles but hasn't started boiling yet. If the temperature is too high, it extracts too many bitter compounds from the coffee and it becomes excessive. The coffee ends up very bitter, really, very strong. Not strong in the sense of concentrated, but bitter. And if the temperature is too low, it won't extract that delicious flavor we want from the coffee. The grind size also makes a difference because when the grind is very fine, it's more for espresso. Medium grind is more for filtered coffee, like when you use a paper filter. And coarse grind is more for that French press, where you press down like this and the coffee rises. So ideally, depending on the method or device you're going to use, the product, that you'll use to brew the coffee, you should use the correct grind size. Always remember, when we talk about the benefits of coffee, we're talking about black coffee, without sugar, without condensed milk, without cream, without whipped cream, none of that, no syrups, nothing. If you choose to sweeten it, because the most flavorful coffee is really black coffee, right? But some people still can't get used to that taste, they're very accustomed to sweetness. Then you can use stevia, a non-caloric sweetener, cinnamon, orange peel, nutmeg, or some kind of spice to sweeten and add benefits. And remember, if you already have some gastric sensitivity or acid reflux, avoid drinking it on an empty stomach. By following these steps, you'll be able to get the benefits of coffee without experiencing any drawbacks. Tell me, which of these mistakes did you use to make? Is there another mistake you used to make but don't anymore that I didn't mention in the video? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read your comment. Remember to like the video because that really helps me out, and share it with anyone who would enjoy it or needs it. Let's work together to spread this positive movement, which is exactly what I want for this channel. See you next time. Bye.